I mean, it helped the Chiefs, but that was terrible, them taking away that pick.
Luka.
Time for stories to start your morning. Yesterday,
Could be an MVP.
my name is Luka, led the Mavs to a 14-point win over the Lakers, snapping their 10-game win streak. Nick, what'd you make of the Lakers' performance yesterday?
All right, little picture, big picture. Little picture, really interesting. The Lakers in the first half were blitzing Luka every time he had the ball. He was very ineffective in the first half. I think he was 2 of 8 from the field. They went away from that in the third quarter, and he absolutely lit them up. I'm not sure why they went away from it. Big picture is this. Told you guys last week, the Lakers were waiting to lose one of these games. A minimal effort, see if you can still come through. The Mavs are too good for that. Might be a good wake-up call because Tuesday, Wednesday, the Lakers have the single toughest back-to-back that exists in the NBA for road environments. At Denver, at Utah. They need to play their best basketball to win those 2 games. They need to play really well just to get a split. Maybe this performance wakes them up because they haven't been playing great ball for a couple weeks now, and they've just been getting away with it.
And it's getting away with playing situational defense, trying to turn it on and off, trying to coast with giving the minimum amount of effort needed to get the victory. They're playing against a young team with live legs, with a superstar that's really announcing itself. I mean, if he's not the front runner for MVP, I don't know who is.
Giannis right there. LeBron's saying something.
On to Sunday night football. Patriots struggled mightily and trailed by as many as 19 in the fourth quarter to the Texans. Brady was seen yelling at his receivers after a sloppy performance. After the game, Brady said, quote, "We didn't make a lot of great plays. Wasn't a great game." Nick, what'd you make of Tom Brady last night?
Listen, you got to feel for him. I mean, what's he supposed to do? All the team's done is spend a first-round pick on a running back, first-round pick on a wide receiver, traded second-round pick for a wide receiver, still have Julian Edelman. He had over 3 seconds to pass before each pass last night. I mean, I don't know what you expect a 42-year-old man
So
to
you're
do,
good?
except for maybe be a little more accurate. The receivers are not helping him, but Brady is not helping the receivers right now either. And if you can't acknowledge that, you're not watching them play.
I mean, dressing your wide receivers down when you know you're on camera, really, I wouldn't suggest that. You know, you should be building these young guys up instead of trying to dress them in front of the national audience. Brady has to take some accountabilities for some of the things that he's doing wrong. He's skipping a lot of passes, and, you know, he gets hit early, and then you talk about me in the cowardly lion, he kind of folds up like a bad tent.
Oh,
wow.
And, by the way, 1 pick was taken off the board yesterday because of a holding call.
On to Patrick Mahomes now and the Kansas City Chiefs. Mahomes looked good against the Raiders. He looked healthy, and he proved it, scoring 2 touchdowns, 1 in the air, 1 on the ground. Also got plenty of help from the defense, who forced 3 turnovers. Andy Reid now 18-3 following a bye week in his career. Nick, are people sleeping on Kansas City?
Yeah, and I'll be quick here. Yes, they are, but they won't be 6 days from now after they beat New England. The Chiefs had a terrible 2-minute stretch at the very end of the Titans game where a half dozen things went wrong, which cost them that win. That made a lot of people just cross them out. Since then, most importantly, their defense against the Chargers, now against the Raiders, has looked better than it's looked all year. Patrick Mahomes wasn't even very good yesterday, and they were up 38-3 with a minute left in this football game, Bart.
I mean, that's what you want to see. You want to see them be able to win ugly games because in the playoffs, you're going to go against teams that can punch back, and you want to see them be able to gut out some tough wins. You know, yesterday was an example of that, but you hope that next week, even though they beat New England, I believe, you wanted them to have to face some type of adversity. You don't want them to have to figure things out when they get in the postseason.
All right, moving on to Carson Wentz and the Eagles in Miami to face the Dolphins. Second quarter, 4th down. Dolphins line up in a funky formation on 1.
Gate. It's called the swinging gate, Gina.
Field goal attempt. Kicker Jason Sanders catches a touchdown on the true play. What is it called?
The swinging gate.
Swinging gate.
You can find it in Football for Dummies 101.
Miami takes the 14-13 lead. Fourth quarter, Dolphins up 6. The Eagles went for that Hail Mary. It was anyone's ball. Dolphins say, it was ours. Wentz picked off. Eagles fall to 5-7 on the season, despite 3 touchdowns from Carson Wentz. Here's head coach Doug Peterson after the game.
As crazy as this is, I mean, I would say it's a long shot, but we're not out of it. We do have 4, of our division opponents coming up, and the guys got to understand that, and it's my job to make sure they do understand that we're still fighting and coming to work this week and ready to go and try to figure this thing out. In my position, I've got to make sure that the team understands that we got to guard against that, and we're still a good football team. And again, listen, it's about what we do.
Right now, the title in the NFC East is like hot potato. No one seemingly wants it. The Eagles had a chance with Cowboys losing, and they couldn't cap on it. What has gone so wrong for this Philadelphia team, Nick?
Well, everything at this point. And I take issue with what Doug Peterson said there. I don't know if people caught at the very end. He said, we're still a good football team. Compared to who? What's your evidence?
The division?
But even compared to your division, you're looking up at a Cowboys team that is playing its worst football of the year right now. In your conference.
First Things First is sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve.
Welcome back. We'll get to the Browns and Steelers in just a second. Before Ravens, Niners, Lamar Jackson breaks Kwan Williams' ankles.
That would be R2.
I was just there you go. That is the exact R2 button. Oh, this poor guy. That's a grown man at the very top of his profession looking like a child because of Lamar.
Broncos Chargers. Cortland Sutton makes an incredible one-handed diving touchdown catch here.
He's having a tremendous season. I think it's going unnoticed because of the team is so bad. But they found their #1 receiver. This guy is elite.
Maybe they found their quarterback.
Shout out to Drew Lock. Exactly. After being on IR at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, played a good game last night.
Their second-round pick gets his win in his first career start.
Dolphins and Eagles. Punter Matt Hawk getting the Eagles to bite, then flips it to the kicker Jason Sanders for the score.
The swinging gate. What's next? The fumble rookie or the old shoot screen? Come on, man. You practice this literally every week. Ever since you're a kid. Yes. And they fell for the banana in the tailpipe.
I got to admit, Bart, when I saw this happen, my immediate reaction, because I didn't practice it every week growing up, was, well, that would work every time. It looks indefensible.
Hey, listen, I run this on my little league team. Coaches don't know what to do when I go to my swinging gate offense.
All right, Browns and Steelers in a rematch of that ugly meeting 2 weeks ago. Cleveland jumped out to a 10-0 lead and then sputtered. Baker Mayfield struggled again. 18 of 32 for 196 yards with a touchdown and 2 turnovers. Steelers win 20-13. Sorry, Baker. Cleveland now 5-7 with playoff hopes all but gone. But the story this game turned to something that happened off the field. Friday night, head coach Freddie Kitchens decided to wear a T-shirt that said Pittsburgh started it in reference to their brawl. Glad he doesn't want any distractions on his team. He was asked about the shirt after the loss.
I mean, listen, the T-shirt didn't have anything to do with us at the -1 moving out. I wore a T-shirt. I wore a jacket with it. My daughters wanted me to wear the shirt, and I'd wear it again. I'd put a jacket on. I covered it up. I took a picture with a fan. That was as simple as that, you know. T-shirt. I mean, T-shirt didn't cause us to give up 40-yard passes, and we were ready to play. That's the only thing people need to be concerned about. We were ready to play.
Did you feel it was disrespectful for a coach to be wearing something like that?
I'll leave it up to you guys, but I know our coach would have never done anything like that. Why throw gas? I know I said I want to answer, but when you do something like that, you throw your players in harm's way. He's not on the field.
I don't really have a comment for that. It's just a T-shirt. I've done much worse.
I'm sure he had. The truth is, the T-shirt in and of itself isn't the worst thing. The T-shirt is one of many things that has seemingly gone wrong for this team. Nick, what did you make of Freddie Kitchens' comments after the game?
Well, he's 100% right that the T-shirt had nothing to do with what happened on Sunday. And the idea that, well, it gave the Steelers extra motivation. Man, 2 weeks ago, first of all, these teams are long-term rivals. Second of all, there was enormous playoff implications on the line. Third of all, 2 weeks ago, these two teams played, and one guy on the Browns bonked the quarterback on the Steelers on the head with his helmet. So, like, they were going to be at peak motivation for all of these reasons, no matter what. So the T-shirt had nothing to do with it. But that doesn't mean it's anything other than an idiotic decision. It's indefensible, and it's indicative of why the Browns are one of the very most disappointing underachieving teams in the league, and a team whose most important player, the one we saw at the very end, has had 2 enormous issues all year. One has been about ball security and just turning the ball over. That's on the field. And the other is off the field, which is taking accountability. Because the head coach doesn't want to take accountability. Bart, I'm sure your kids have gotten you either presents or shirts or something that, and I'm not as a public person as you are, but my daughters poke fun at me about the LeBron stuff because even at their age, they know this is something I poke fun at about. So I get almost every Christmas some LeBron versus Jordan clothing item. And And I rarely get asked for pictures, but I'm not wearing that out of the house because of this exact concern.
Yeah.
And Freddie's saying my daughters gave it to me. Hey, bro, I saw the picture. You could have just left the jacket zipped all the way up. You know you're getting asked for pictures.
Close your jacket then.
You know this is coming. And this strikes me someone, Bart, that doesn't still fully understand the gravity of the position that they hold.
Yes.
Doesn't understand the importance of everything that goes along with being the face of a multi-billion-dollar organization, corporation, however you want to put it, because that is what he is. It's not apples to apples, but it's Elon Musk smoking weed on the radio. It's like it's not actually affecting the cars, but it's a terrible look for the face of your organization, and it shows me that your does he get it quotient is still wildly lacking.
He's in over his head, and he's been over his head all year. And the reason that he's the head coach of this football team is because Baker liked him. But he's a negative influence on him. And listen, you have to understand that when you're the head coach of a team, you're the CEO of that team. You're the voice of that team. You're reporting to the stock owners of that team. And you're sending a negative message. And was it fuel to the fire? Of course it was. Athletes are going to use anything for bulletin board material. Did it affect the outcome of the game? Maybe not. But then it's going to affect the team going forward because now it's the